Hey, Raina.
Hi, Meg.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Living. The sun's out. It's beautiful.
The sun is out. I'm wearing a tank top right now. I'm feeling good.
Last weekend, I'm pretty sure we were out all weekend.
Yeah, all weekend.
I mean, in, but out.
In but out. Out but in.
Like, not out on the town. At home.
Speak for yourself. I was out all weekend.
Were you? I truly don't.
We had my husband's work event.
That's right.
Yeah, so I was there. I was in a ballroom at a Hyatt. It was very exciting. But it's like it was on Lake Washington. It was beautiful. I got to sit out and have a margarita with my bestie.
Perfect.
Who lives there. And like
Perfect
I had a
weather.
good time. Yeah. And then it was St. Patrick's Day.
Yes.
And we celebrated that.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was good.
I rolled
Fire pit
in
night.
very hungover and it was not good for me.
You survived.
I sure did. Okay, I got a corny joke, you guys. This is all I got is a corny one, okay?
Hey, sometimes that's what we need.
That's what happens when we don't have one preset out, so I just have to figure it out last second. How do you get a farm girl to marry you?
I don't know.
A tractor. Also reminds me of that
that's
song,
a good
like,
one.
do you think my tractor... Oh, that was horrible. Never. Do you think my tractor's sexy?
You think my tractor's sexy?
There it is. I couldn't
That
get
one?
it. I couldn't get it. Anyways.
I just thought of Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy, but
Yes,
you know.
that too. Same,
whatever.
Same. It's same.
Whatever. Hello and welcome to Lunatic Soup, the podcast where we go into all things wild, weird, and unknown. We're your host, Meg.
And I'm Raina, ready to brew up some lunatic soup.
Let's go. Okay, so my dear friend, Cherry, was down in Southern Oregon, and she picked us up so much cider.
I mean, I like to say you say it's for us. Like, I assumed it was for us. It's basically for you, and you're being kind enough to share it with me.
No, she knew it was for the podcast.
Did she? Because I
Yeah.
thought you said it was like in lieu of her giving you flowers because your mom died, you got ciders.
Well, I think she got these. I think she got these for me before my mom died because
Oh, okay.
I
That
asked
makes
her
sense.
to.
Okay.
I asked her to, and I went to pay her back, and she's like, "No,
No, okay. That makes me feel better because I was like, oh, I'm drinking something that's supposed to be a gift.
death ciders,
Death ciders. Told you guys we're in the laughing
That's
phase.
fine.
It's the only
It's
thing
fine.
you can do.
But this is Portland cider, which is one of my all-time favorites.
Yes.
This is one of the first ciders that I had. I remember down in Seaside, Oregon, there's this restaurant which I absolutely love. It's like, I think it's like the Clam Shack or something.
I've never
like
been.
that.
I don't know.
It's just your typical seaside, you
Yeah.
know, fish and chips.
Little town. Yeah.
Yeah, but they had a Portland cider, and it was so good.
Yeah.
But you can't find it very much up here in Washington.
No, it's a couple places we've seen it, or like small little boutique places will have it.
But just like the regular flavors, nothing different.
Nothing crazy. But aren't they one of the ones that are doing some good cocktails on their website with them? Yeah.
And when I was in Portland, not last time, but the time before, we went to the Portland Cider House.
Yeah.
One of my favorite places.
Yeah.
Like, it was so good. The flight was so good. It was
See,
Christmas
I need to get
time.
down there with you. Oh, stop.
Oh, we need to do a Portland weekend.
I know.
That would be
We've
fun.
said that. We just got to do it.
We just got to do it.
We're gonna get cracking on the Lunatic Soup cocktail book soon because
Yes.
then I feel like we can go to these places where we're like, oh, we'll put their cider in it, and then we can be like, would you like
look
to
at
tell how
that.
cool this Lunatic Soup book is that your cider's
It's
featured on page?
in. Oh my God. All right. I'm excited about this one. It's called True Brute.
Yes.
And I mean, I was saying before we got on air, we make so many drinks with like a champagne or a Prosecco topping,
Yeah.
like to top it off. This would be perfect.
Yep. Well,
This
we
would
don't
be
know yet.
perfect.
Let's try it.
You do the honor. Oh wait, you're the one with nails. I don't have nails.
That doesn't stop me. Mine are
break
my
'em?
real nails.
Oh.
I'm missing a fingernail color.
Thank you for flipping me off, Raina.
My middle fingernail fell off last night.
Oh.
Just the shellac, but I'm okay, guys.
I've tried to do my nails, and to be honest, I've been doing so much like garden work. They're just dirt.
Well, when you garden, it's like that's different. I don't garden. So.
Ooh, it looks very pretty and very bubbly. We have some True Lime just in case we need to sour slut it up. These are big cans too. Oh, she just spilled it all over herself. What the heck,
It was a baby one.
Raina?
All right.
6.9% Portland Cider Company. It says exceptionally dry and delightfully fizzy Northwest cider. Ooh, exceptionally dry.
I like delightfully fizzy.
Let's see.
Let's do it. Cheers.
Cheers. Oh,
Whoa.
that's very dry.
Extremely
that is
dry, but really good. But it's sour. I don't need lime in it. You think you're going to put lime in that?
No.
I don't feel like it needs it.
No, that is like
What would be good in it, but we're not doing it today. We're on good behavior.
Fireball.
But we're not going to because my daughter has basketball right after
Yeah,
this.
we were supposed to record tonight, but all these things kept popping up. And
AKA Mr. Boo Boo's job ruining us. Anyways, but we recorded now.
yes, and
Instead.
it's fine. because I want to go home and make dinner and play in the Hobbit hole. By the way, guys, it's happening and it's like halfway done.
Yeah, if you saw on St. Patrick's Day, I did a little sneak peek of her making the Hobbit hole. I was there drinking our green ciders we got from Incline, which, by the way, huge shout out to Allie from Incline.
Oh my goodness. We got to post those pictures.
Is the kindest human ever. She wrote on all the ciders that she gave us because we got these green ciders for us to drink because
it's St. Patrick's Day.
And she wrote like little love notes on them to us.
It was like the best thing ever.
Drew us a ghosty and said like Lunatic soup, love Allie. Like it was just the sweetest thing ever. So thank you, Allie. We love you.
We were messaging back and forth, and I told her next time we come in, I'm going to have to check to see what days she's there. So if we're thinking about going in this weekend for the rosé and cheese pairing.
Yeah.
Oh,
we need to figure that out.
We just have to make it happen.
I just feel like we've done it before when Mr. Boo Boo's on call, and so I feel like
he's on call like 2 minutes up the road. He can just drive us.
Well, it's just,
and then take us back.
What the bad thing is that if he gets stuck at the hospital, but like
then we're stuck in Tacoma.
Oopsie.
Whoopsie doodles.
So what do we do? I feel like Friday would be the best bet if we're going to do that. So
I like it.
Let's think about that.
Okay.
Maybe we'll see if Allie's working.
It's rosé and cheese.
Which is, come on.
You can't get any better.
You cannot.
Like, literally.
I love cheese.
Okay. Me too. I'm more excited about that than a chocolate pairing.
Yeah. Oh, chocolate's cool and all, but cheese.
We did a cheese pairing not too long ago. February?
Yeah.
January, February?
I didn't incline. Yeah. It's delightful.
But this is rosé.
Yeah.
We did a Girl Scout cookie pairing.
Yeah. Fierce.
Last week with Fierce.
Yeah.
That
was really fun too.
But they give you so many cookies.
There was a lot of cookies. It was too many cookies for my life.
We had the kids with us, so you take a bite and then
but it was a fun pairing. It worked out really well. I mean, I love a pairing.
It's just fun.
Yes. What are we talking about today, Meg?
So today we're going to start a new series called Spooky States. I figure it gives me 50 episodes.
Holy shit.
Not all at once. We're going to sprinkle.
Are you going to include like the extra like not states but are like
DC and Puerto Rico?
Yeah, I was thinking like it was like Puerto Rico and those
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
Puerto.
It's like you said Puerto Rico.
That's my Washington accent. Like I know Puerto Rico.
Now I'm second guessing myself.
I mean, I think you're saying it with more Hispanic flair than I am. I'm saying it very white person, like Puerto Rico. P-U.
It sounded Porter.
Well, now stop making me say it. No, it's not Puerto
Rico. Say it fast.
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can do Puerto Rico.
I know how to say it. Did you think I was just saying it wrong? Or just mispronouncing?
Mispronouncing.
Oh, probably either or. But I know how to say it, I think.
Apricot at this point.
So,
anywho's.
What state is it?
So today we are just going to do some state that I am very familiar with. I picked Vermont. I was not born there, but I did spend my high school years there, got married there, moved out here when I was like 21, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm familiar with the area. There are some spooky things there. It's a beautiful state. Have you ever been?
I have not.
It's a beautiful state. I don't think I would ever live there again because there's just not as much to do.
It's kind of in the middle of nowhere.
But it is beautiful. It's absolutely stunning, especially in the fall. So how I decided to do this is there's not usually one haunted story that a state is known for.
Right.
Like, yeah, you have in Colorado, you have the Stanley Hotel, and, we've done an episode on that. But there's all these little hauntings and all these little spooky stories. So I thought in these episodes, we'll just go through spooky stories from that state.
I love it.
Washington's got some good ones.
Washington, we have some fucked up shit here. I'm not gonna lie. It's wild when you realize
because we got like tons of culty stuff and
like
cryptids and aliens.
Yep.
Oh, speaking of aliens, I'm writing one on Tacoma.
Yep.
And our friend Chris from Pretty Goody Tours sent me a bunch of resources.
Whoop whoop.
To help get.
I'm excited
to
about
help
it.
with it.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that. Some really fun stuff on that one.
That's the Men in Black episode.
So we're going to start out with Emily's Bridge. If you grew up in Vermont or if you spent any time in Vermont as a Ute, you will know about Emily's Bridge. So I grew up hearing this story. Unfortunately, I never went there, which the town I frequented all the time. So I don't know why.
You just never visited the bridge.
I just never visited the bridge. I knew stories of kids and, teenagers who would make midnight outings to hope to catch a glimpse of Emily or hear her.
You must have been in the middle of nowhere because we were definitely not doing that. We were like drunk in a field somewhere. And that's cute. It was a field. It was a park. We don't have fields around where I lived. I were at a beach.
We were in the woods, man. We were in the middle of the woods.
No, we were like at a park or a beach, like a rocky beach that we had to like climb down and almost died on the way down. That's where we'd go get drunk.
That sounds safe.
Always.
Drunk kids near water.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, people going in search of Emily's bridge probably were the same way.
Same. Yeah.
And it's a bridge.
Same.
You assume there's water.
Same. But I mean, I'm saying if they're going hunting for ghosts, we were definitely not hunting for ghosts. We were just being drunken morons.
Oh, no. We went out looking for spooky stuff a lot. One time we broke into an old sawmill.
Yeah, I would never.
And that in the middle of the night when you have all these big saws kind of just hanging, swinging in the balance.
Did you guys not watch scary movies as kids? Were you?
No, we did. We're just dumb Vermont kids.
You're just ballsy?
I don't even call it that. Dumb.
Oh, okay. That works. I mean, so are we, but different kind of dumb.
Different kind of
You
dumb.
probably were going to live. We probably were trying to kill ourselves without realizing it, so it's fine.
I mean, I grew up in the Hicks. I would probably have gotten murdered by some mountain man,
yeah.
if anything,
Yeah.
or a shadowy figure.
Yikes.
Some people who go out in search of Emily come back and report that she is not too happy.
Uh-oh.
Goldbrook Covered Bridge, also known as the Stowe Hollow Bridge, is Emily's Bridge. It's a small wooden covered bridge in Stowe, Vermont, built in 1844. Stowe is gorgeous. Stowe is a ski town in the mountains of Vermont. Mm-hmm. It is everything you picture as a New England ski town. Mm-hmm. Like, picture Hallmark.
Yep.
Like when you see the Hallmark movies that are in Vermont, picture Stowe, Vermont.
Yeah.
It's beautiful all year round. I grew up on it's Mount Mansfield, and on one side is Stowe, and on the other side is where I grew up, and we could see the mountain from my house.
Okay.
Emily's Bridge is the only remaining 19th century covered bridge in the state using wooden hoe trusses. Hoe, H-O-W-E. How trusses? How trusses?
Yeah.
It's a single lane, 50-foot long bridge. Today it looks dark and weathered, but it is absolutely beautiful. We'll put some pictures up on it. It was added to the National Register of Historic Places in 1974. The bridge has been featured in the Paranormal TV series Most Terrifying Places in America, which aired on the Travel Channel in 2018.
Well, damn.
Yeah, it's a very well-known haunted thing. Sorry, you're making me nervous. You're looking at me so much.
That's what, isn't that what I'm supposed to do? Where do you want me to stare?
No, it's fine. It's fine. We're just...
I'm waiting for the good part.
I know, you don't like this part. So who is Emily? This is somewhat of a mystery. No one is quite sure of her identity. It's said in the mid-1800s, Emily was a young woman from Stowe in her late teens who was in love.
No.
That's how they all start.
Yeah.
The boy she loved told her that he loved her back, and they made plans to meet on the Goldbrook Bridge, or Emily's Bridge, in the middle of the night so that they could run off together and elope.
Uh-oh. Mm-hmm. I feel like this is going to go bad.
She waited.
He never came.
He never came.
That's what she said. So sorry.
No, you're not. You're not sorry at all. So her lover never showed up. Emily felt abandoned. With that and her heartbreak, it is said that young Emily took her own life by hanging herself from the rafters
okay, that's
of
sad.
the bridge.
Very sad.
Now, some say that Emily never left. She's an angry spirit who stayed at the bridge for nearly 200 years. People have reported claw-like scratches down the sides of their cars after going over the bridge. So, like, you go by and it's like,
Jesus.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
There are various accounts of voices and crying that people hear at night coming from the bridge. It is said with each passing year, she's getting angrier and angrier because she is still waiting for her lover who is never going to show up.
Wild. And that's I want to watch that now. I want to see what they are like, what people report, like, when people go out.
We'll watch
that. Sounds pretty cool. Like, I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to drive my car through there. And maybe I wouldn't go there at night, but I'll go there during the day. If
you were to ask me, like, the number one haunted story of Vermont, this is what I would tell you.
Yeah.
Like, off the top of my head, that's what I would tell you.
I mean, it's sad and it's like, is it residual? Well, it doesn't sound residual if the scratches on the cars are true. That's not residual energy.
No, she angry.
She mad.
She's mad.
She big mad.
I'm big mad.
Big mad. Big mad. I was going to say something when you were saying to me, you're like, stop staring at me. And I was going to say, what, with my glass eye? Tell the story, Megan.
No.
Yes. Tell the story.
You talk about your winky eye.
'Kay.
You have a winky eye.
I have a winky eye on one side because I have a dimple on one side,
Yes.
not on the other. So the one side just like winks a little bit more, like when I
closes more
smile.
when you smile.
So what did you used to think, Meg?
This is before I knew you. This was like one
what, you
picture.
just saw me on Instagram?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like one picture on Instagram.
Say it. She thought I had a glass eye. She told me this on St. Patrick's Day. You told me? What is that?
Regardless, I shouldn't
don't
have
know.
said it.
No, you should have said it. And I died. I was like, that is like, no, it was at Amanda's house, I think,
It
on
was at
Friday.
Amanda's house on Friday.
I died. I was like, shut the fuck up. Like, the fact that you thought I had a glass eye is like the funniest shit ever. And then she was like so embarrassed that she told me. And I was like, no, shut up. We're not discussing this anymore because it needs to be discussed on the podcast.
That's literally what she said. She's like, shut up. We're not talking about this
She was like,
anymore.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said it. I feel so bad. I was like, I'm not mad. It's hilarious. Like, because I do have a winky eye on one side. It's like,
It was
what
like the
is.
very first picture that I saw of you on online.
Now
was
I
like,
want to
wait,
try and find what
Wait,
picture it
does
was.
she have a glass eye?
No, just a winky one. And according to a psychic, I have the winky eye because I saw so much bad shit in my last life.
That's not great.
Yeah, that's what she told me.
So it closes so to like shield the bad shit.
I don't know. Yeah. If I hold it up like that, it doesn't do it as much.
Don't do that.
Just like muscle. No, see, now that's right.
Okay. Your eyes are beautiful.
And glass.
Did you tell Boo Boo I said that, or is this the first time he's hearing it?
I think it's the first time he's here. There's a chance that I told him, but I haven't said it to anybody because I was saving it for this. So yeah, just know, like you're not like I'm never not going to say it.
I know.
Like it's my favorite thing now.
Uh-huh.
Now we just need to get a glass eyeball to put right here, and then we'll have like Lester.
Just get a glass eyeball in a box.
Yeah,
and keep
just
it
sit
there
right here. Now, can we add it to the logo?
Yes. We're getting quite the collection of like little knickknacks here. We have an alien. We have a little tiny Bigfoot. We have Lester the molester.
That is not a Bigfoot.
That's we shouldn't say that. We shouldn't.
No.
say.
Oh no, that's Lester. Lester the squirrel. What happened to the cigarette we got for him? We got a replacement cigarette.
I don't know.
It was over here the other night. Amanda brought it.
Nobody knows.
That's a Yeti.
That's a Yeti.
That's
You're
not a
right.
Bigfoot.
That's not a Bigfoot. You're
How
right.
dare
I'm
you
wrong. That was a
miss-
horrible
you
mistake.
I was gonna say misgendered, but that was wrong. It's not a gender. It's a
Classified.
misclassified. Thank you. You misclassified a Yeti. How
I did.
dare
Me
you?
of all people.
I know. I'm really disappointed in
Jeez.
you. We might kick you off the show.
So now we need a glass eye.
If anybody wants to send us one, my eyes are
Please
blue.
do.
Please and thank you.
So back to the story. You good?
No.
No, she's not
Go.
good.
Go.
She's not good.
Go.
So Joe Citro is a very well-known Vermont author. He does spooky stuff. He writes fiction. He's great. I was actually in talks with him a little bit, trying to get him on the show.
Yeah.
One of my favorite authors, actually. Joe says that the story does not go back to the 1800s, but rather the 1970s. A woman by the name of Nancy Wolfstead claimed that she was the one who created the story of Emily to scare the local youth. I'm going to be Nancy.
You're gonna be that old bitch. Who,
I'm
like,
going to be the old
terrifies
bitch that's
children.
Yes.
I mean,
That is my lot in life.
good for you.
It goes that there was a local swimming hole in Morrisville, which Morrisville is where I got Burrito. My lovely, my beautiful boy.
Yeah.
I got him when I was 18. He's my doggy. And he passed 2 years ago.
Sad.
We had him for like 15 years.
That's a lot of years in dog life.
A lot of
Yeah.
years. He was my beautiful boy, but we got him in Morrisville.
Nice.
Kids would go to this area all the time, and she decided it would be fun to make up a ghost story. Paranormal and the occult were getting very popular in the 1970s, and her story took off like wildfire. A woman by the name of Valerie Welch, who started the Stowe Tours, added the bridge and Emily's story to her tour. According to the Stowe Historical Society, there is not a record of anyone named Emily hanging themselves on the Goldbrook Bridge, but someone did die there. Around 1920, a little girl tragically fell off the bridge and hit the boulders beneath, killing her almost instantly.
Oh.
Another theory is that the Goldbrook Bridge may not even be the real Emily's Bridge. Down the road from the Goldbrook Bridge is another covered bridge that burned down in 1932 and is now replaced by a more modern, not covered, just a regular bridge. There is a record of a death that did take place on that bridge, but not enough details to make anything concrete.
Right.
If the other bridge was the real bridge, could Emily's ghost just have, wandered off?
Could. I mean, just found a new spot.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Or especially if the covered bridge is not there anymore, she went to the nearest covered
one.
bridge. Another angle is there's a story of a woman named Emily that came about in the 1970s, but around the late 1940s, stories of the Goldbrook Bridge started surfacing, and it became known to locals as the Haunted Bridge. No mention of Emily. So Emily started in the 1970s, but there was this already haunted bridge. So that's not to say that the bridge isn't haunted.
Well, no, because I feel like if enough people, like especially, if people experience it, something's going on there.
Yeah.
Just who knows what.
Ghostly photos of a sad-looking woman on the bridge. And more people account of hearing disembodied voices while on the bridge. Some say that they hear her crying and asking for help, while others say they see flashing lights with no known source.
Interesting.
I remember growing up, one of the things was hearing the crying and seeing orbs.
Okay.
That was what people saw there a lot.
And that makes sense.
Or witnessed there a lot. Some people report temperature changes on the bridge, be it colder or warmer. One man said that he was driving through and his windshield fogged up and handprints began appearing on the windshield in the fog. That would terrify me the most.
Yeah, that would freak me the fuck out, especially if you're like unaware of where you are and what's going on. Like maybe if you're out there ghost hunting, I mean, it'd really scare you. But if you're just like driving and all of a sudden that happens.
Would it actually scare you? Like when you're going out there looking for these things, isn't that what you want?
Yeah, it's still scary. Well, you speak for yourself. It would still scare me. Maybe not you, but I would be scared.
But I want that.
I want it too, but I also don't. Like I want it, but then it would still scare me.
It would still scare you.
Oh yeah,
the
1,000%.
Would you start threatening him and saying, "Come at me, bro"?
No. Maybe in my dreams,
but not in real life.
Not in real life.
No.
I wouldn't do that.
A group of teenagers report that they went to the bridge to find Emily, and they did. As they pulled up, they saw her standing in front of them and she started to walk towards them. They got in the car and locked the doors, and she attempted to get into the car by trying to open the handles. But that's just terrifying because there's some girl in a nightgown trying to get you.
Right.
Like that's just scary. That's just scary.
No, yeah. So that would scare you.
Well, yeah, because I don't know if it's a ghost or not.
Well, oh, okay, I see. But they couldn't tell that it was a ghost at the time?
They said they assume it was her. But if she's trying to come up and pull the handles, my first thought is not going to be ghost.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just assumed that she was like apparition-y, like, you know, a little see-through or something. But yeah, no, if you don't realize it's a ghosty, then yeah, you'd be like, get the fuck out of here, lady.
Yeah, that's even more scary.
Go put your pajamas somewhere else.
Oh, I mean, but keep them on.
We'll keep. Yeah, I don't know where that. I don't really know what came out of my mouth. You know how that goes sometimes with me. Who knows?
Some people report as they come up to the bridge that they start to hear harp music playing, and that usually means that Emily is present.
Okay.
So there's no way to know the real origin, and who was it, Emily or some other spirit? What do you think?
Sounds like that nobody actually knows. So it sounds like obviously something traumatic happened there.
Yeah.
There is some ghosty that is either, like we said, from that specific location or another location, hanging out there trying to terrify people.
I'm going to go with Emily was fabricated.
Yeah.
But the location is still haunted.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to go with.
Yeah. Oh, no. I think that sounds fair enough.
From what I was reading, it's pretty concrete that this woman Nancy made up Emily.
Yeah, but it's still like there's enough paranormal shit happening there where that multiple people have seen, and it's obvious that something traumatic happened there, whether it's something that we're aware of, whether there's not. It's like I've discussed my sister's house before.
Yeah.
My older sister lives in Hawaii, just actually left today, moving over here for a little while. And she has had weird shit happen in her house for so long. And I had said to her, I feel like your house is built on some sort of like a mass burial ground or something like that. And that was just me like saying, that was just the energy that I felt or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so the other night they were at her neighbor's house for dinner, and her neighbor said that he was like, did you know that this is like the land that we live on is one of the deadliest wars in Hawaiian history took place on this land. And she was like, well, now that all makes sense, which so there's a lot of, I think probably just residual energy that's there. A lot of things. I still think she's got something going on in her house.
Right.
But then apparently a drywaller told her neighbor that her daughter had a native warrior like living in her closet.
Living?
Staying, hanging out, living, just
hanging out,
just
hanging around.
And then my nephew, who had his best friend named Churn, who would visit him, his ghosty friend, they like moved out of the house and were staying with a friend until they were like ready to leave the state. And my sister was like, you know, where's Churn? Like, why isn't she around? He goes, oh no, she stayed at the old house.
Interesting.
That
is quite a fascinating.
Isn't that wild?
Story.
So it'll be interesting to see. Who knows? I don't know if anything more will come of that, but.
And at what point is something residual, or is there so much residual energy that spirits
like hang out
there?
Yeah, because they're more comfortable. That's honestly like a really good, like, which I do feel like makes a lot of sense in some situations where there is so much energy, no matter what, that is residual, that it's like a more comfortable place for them.
I feel
to
like
be.
Gettysburg is that.
Yeah, that was exactly my thought, is Gettysburg. And any place that's had that kind of trauma, I feel like that makes sense. And so, you know, it could be like where that bridge is. Who knows? That part of America is so like probably.
Oh, they're like, especially like the Revolutionary War and all that stuff. That like there's so many battles that came through that area.
Exactly. You don't know. It could have been like a woman who was like captured and tortured there. It could be something Native American. It could be something like there's so many. You just don't know. The Pilgrims. The who knows. Residual that then people hang out.
I mean, that's where the vampire panic started.
Well,
Vermont.
Maybe there's some vampires there.
Vampire.
What plays a harp? That's a siren, I would say.
In a river?
Who knows? Maybe they swam up the stream.
Maybe.
You don't know.
Like a salmon.
Maybe there are river mermaids, that sirens.
River nymphs.
Yeah, that play harps.
Could be.
Just throwing it out there.
I don't know.
And scratch your car and scream.
Ooh. I mean,
that
sounds like
up.
a banshee to me.
Also one of those. That's options.
Those are scary.
Oh, what's that that movie? Oh God, was it? No. Who was I talking? Never mind.
I don't know. It
know.
was me.
Where there was like these banshees who live in trees with the knives, and they like try and fight you.
What?
Oh, I think we discussed this on one of the episodes before. I can't remember the name of it.
This sounds vaguely familiar.
Because I feel like I thought it was The Hills Have Eyes, but it wasn't that. But it's something. Anyways,
that sounds terrifying.
It is.
Now we're going to move on to the Brattleboro Haunted Asylum. Now known as the Brattleboro Retreat, in 1834, the Vermont Asylum for the Insane was built. It is still a mental health facility today. There's a special location. This is a special location because it was one of the first mental health institutions that had humane practices for the mentally unwell since the 19th century. And they focused on quality of life for over 450 patients. Imagine that!
Instead of like a lobotomy instantly.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I got on that side of TikTok.
Oh,
don't do that.
It's terrifying because they literally used an ice pick.
And then the music they play with the pictures that they show on TikTok is this weird music. It messes. Oh my God, it terrifies me.
My friend's grandma had a lobotomy. Her husband had her get one because he was abusive. I might be telling this story wrong, but he was abusive. So she like called it out. And so it was her fault. So there's something mentally wrong with you. And he had her lobotomized.
That is
Isn't that horrifying?
Horrible that a husband could just do that back then because
they had all that power. That's disgusting.
That's terrible.
In an article in the Vermont paper from 1894, the editor is quoted saying, "All patients are kindly treated and those who need extra attention receive it." He made this assessment after visiting the facility every day for 3 months.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty solid.
Because at this point in time, those were the worst places to be.
Oh, 1,000%.
While they did include some practices and treatments that we would not use today, like electric shock, they still took the lead in treatment of the patients. In 1893 and 1897, the facility was damaged because it was hit by lightning twice.
Oh, okay.
In 1900 and 1901, parts of the building were destroyed by fire. No deaths were caused by these instances, though. The retreat tower was built by patients by doctors' instructions because they believed giving them a job would improve their mental health. Between 1887 and 1894, patients built a 65-foot tower. The tower was used as a place for patients to get fresh air and became an attraction in Brattleboro. I picture it in my head when I think of Brattleboro. It's way down south in Vermont.
Okay.
I didn't grow up near there.
Yeah.
A woman was going on a walk near the tower in 1913, and she said near the tower she saw a deer looking at her. She began to follow the deer, but once they got to the tower, the deer vanished. The same thing happened repeatedly. In 1923, a body was found. Carl W. Dodge was the lead cello player in the New York Metropolitan Opera House, and he was found dead with a self-inflicted gunshot wound right in the temple on the steps of the tower.
Okay.
Gunfire became common around the tower, and teenagers would go up and shoot at each other.
That's safe.
And so, I mean, this is Vermont.
I mean, I could give you a better story than that from where I'm from people I know, but
Oh, these were Hicks.
this was
Not
dumb kids taking mushrooms and running around
with guns?
knives and the lights turned off. Like people who I'm still friends with to this day when we were in high school, them just being dumb.
I think the worst we ever did was shoot Roman candles at each other.
I used to shoot bottle rockets at people. I didn't participate in this, by the way. These are just guys that I know, and they had a certain name for it. I can't remember.
That sounds horrible.
Well, yeah, when we, as the girlfriends, the friends that were girls, we all, not like girlfriends, but like female friends of them found out, we were like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? Running around in the dark with knives high on mushrooms.
So much. So much wrong. But because the teenagers would go up and, play around shooting each other, sometimes people died.
Yeah, shocker.
One time they shot one of the doctor's dogs in the leg.
Oh.
So one of the doctors, I paused that on a very
Yeah,
bad
you did. I was like, still bad.
They decided to brick up the entrance to the tower in 1938 because so much mischief was happening there.
Oh, dear.
And they didn't want anyone, especially children, to get hurt while going up. That was the reason that they gave.
Okay.
Unofficially, patients would go up there and jump to their deaths.
Okay.
The facility would not say that this happened, but the spirits of those patients remain there today.
Okay.
Often, if you're walking by, you can hear the sobbing and screaming of disembodied voices. Visitors report an eerie feeling when going up to the tower. Some people have seen an apparition that repeatedly jumps from the top, but never makes it to the bottom.
That's residual energy.
That is 1,000% residual.
Probably the screams and everything are too, but still sad.
But to see the same thing repeated, and I would
yep.
wonder, I'd want to know, is it the same time of day? Is it the same time of year?
I was looking at something the other day, and it said it doesn't necessarily have to be the same time of day, but like you're saying, same time of year, same conditions. Sometimes it's just the same, just the weather.
Maybe it's a foggy morning,
yep,
or
and
something
that's what
like that.
Yeah, and that's what triggers it, which is, who knows?
It's crazy. There's a cemetery on campus with tombstones dating back to the 1800s, and there's a lot of tombstones without names.
Sad.
So I think if the hospital wanted to keep up a good standing, they wouldn't necessarily say.
That's hard because if they're not dying by like the hospital's mistakes of them, killing them with a lobotomy or like doing horrible things to them, mental health at the end of the day is still something that takes a toll on people, and it happens. Like if you're depressed, it will happen.
And it sounds like the facility was in such high standards that it's like Disney World. They won't announce anybody dead because they want it to keep it happy. And
exactly, I feel like that's so many places won't release that kind of information if something happens because they're like, no, not us. No one died near, around, on it.
Kind of like the royal family.
Oh, are we gonna get into that conspiracy?
I don't know. They say that there's an announcement coming. By the time this airs, then the announcement may have already come out.
I'll be shocked if it does, to be honest.
No, I don't think it will. I don't think anyone's dead.
I don't think anyone's dead either. I am on the conspiracy side of where is Kate Middleton? And I have 50-50 on that. Because part of me is they said she wouldn't be showing her face until at least after Easter. Mm-hmm. We're not there yet. So everyone's freaking out for no reason. And she might just not want to.
She might not want to.
But then the hard part is that they keep releasing clearly photoshopped pictures and videos of her. Mm-hmm. There's just a video that was released by TMZ that's supposedly her. And
it's not.
I don't think it is. It looks like she has a body double, a person who looks exactly like her. And when you watch this person walk, it doesn't look like Kate Middleton's walk. And you see videos of her walking all the time.
Right.
It doesn't look like her. And Prince William's wearing a baseball cap. You can't really tell that it's him. So
interesting.
To me, I just feel like they have now put out I think 4 images that have all been proven to be photoshopped, and they've admitted they've called the kill thing. So that's what weirds me out. But then the other part of me is they said we wouldn't see her until a certain time. But why do they keep putting out fake stuff? It's just that's what I don't
Unless
get.
there's somebody on the inside that's screwing with them.
Or they're literally trying to take our eyes, what do we say? Our government.
Here.
Yeah, look over here. They're fucking that up because there is something more serious going on with King Charles or whatever. Who knows?
I asked a friend the other night who's Canadian, so, knows I don't know. The royal family has something over Canada. It's
They're Commonwealth.
They're Commonwealth.
It's like Australia. They're all part of the Commonwealth. They still are run under the crown.
Right, which means absolutely nothing. But I asked him. He was a little schnockered the other night, and I asked him. I said, just to stir the pot, because he hates conspiracy theories. There's no way in hell he would ever listen to this podcast because he thinks it's all just a bunch of horse shit.
Good for him.
So we're at dinner. It got a little quiet, so I said, "So, where's Kate Middleton?" And he's just, "I don't fucking care. They can go fuck right." Like,
he was not
having it. It wasn't the reaction I was expecting, but it was still good.
I mean, it's solid. I've seen like a split thing. Like, some of the people from the UK are like, you Americans, like, you know, in Britain, we get this thing called like a leave if you're sick or all of this, and you guys don't understand that, and da-da-da. And I'm like, they're going through it, and I'm like, but also you guys are the people who like blindly follow your media. No, which they always have. And the crown like dictates the media, which we are just naturally conspiracy theorists now because so much shit goes on. We question everything.
I would rather be a conspiracy theorist because
Me too.
it's just a lot more fun.
But
even
then,
if I don't buy most of it, it's just a lot more
And then
fun.
I go down a rabbit hole and I'm like, what the fuck is going on with my life? Why do I care so much? I don't. I'm curious.
She could be in rehab.
She could be. There's a lot of...
She could have had plastic surgery. She could have been in a coma for certain reasons.
Mm-hmm.
There could have been... I mean, or she just said, I need a freaking break.
Yeah. Or her husband cheated on her and got another woman pregnant. And then she found out about it, had a mental breakdown and said, I'm not showing my face again until you guys figure this the fuck out.
I don't think she would have a mental breakdown. I mean, not publicly. Not publicly, but I don't think she would tell anybody. I think she would just be like, I'm out.
Well, that's another reason why we haven't seen her kids. We haven't seen anything. Why is that?
Oh, yeah. You take your kids and run.
Yeah.
Man.
I'd be like, I'm fucking... You want the heir to the throne? Fix this shit. Mm-hmm. Boom. And then that's when the crown will just off you because
the heir to the throne, that means absolutely nothing.
Yeah, well, astrology is saying that, I will say this, astrology is saying that this is starting to be the downfall of the crown. Like, this year is supposed to be the beginning of the downfall of them.
They haven't already been spiraling?
Well, they've already been, but this is like the really big one. And apparently I was watching this girl who was saying she pulled Kate Middleton's charts. Mm-hmm. And she was saying that she is like literally the catalyst of like the beginning of the crown going down. Not that it's her fault, but like she is like part of. And they pulled.
She plays the game so well.
Well, she was raised to play the game. Like she was. Have you ever watched the series The Crown on Netflix? Mm-mm. So good. But she was raised to do it.
That's crazy.
I know you're not a Meghan Markle fan, but she wasn't raised to do it. She wasn't, you know, and I feel like they know.
I have nothing against Meghan Markle because of the royal family. I think there's stuff there that we don't know about.
I agree with that.
Just its character,
but I also feel like a lot of it is like pushed more because she wouldn't play the game.
Right. But like you said, she wasn't raised to. She was raised
as a TV actress in America.
Yeah.
I mean, she wasn't even raised like that, but yeah, she was.
Huge difference.
Yeah, massive.
I don't think I could play the game either.
Oh, no, the fuck? No.
Visitors to the cemetery of the facility often report seeing shadowy figures running between tombstones and glowing eyes peering at them.
Yikes.
Yeah.
I saw something on TikTok the other day with glowing eyes in the Appalachian Mountains. God damn it, I'm on Appalachia TikTok.
Send it to me. I want to do something on the Appalachian Mountains because I think it's fascinating.
I sent us something that this was really interesting about.
Where did you send it?
I sent it from my TikTok to like Lunatic Soup TikTok.
Oh, okay.
Like I'll DM us stuff sometimes if I'm like, I need to remember this, but I don't want to save it in mind because I'll lose it. So supposedly, you know how at one point all of the continents were combined.
Mm-hmm. Pangea.
Yep, Pangea. So the Appalachian mountains are connected to the mountain ranges in like Scotland, Ireland, whatever, that are very
the magical.
That they used to be connected.
Interesting.
I watched. We'll find it.
Yeah, I want to
go look at the DMs I sent to Lunatic Soup. Those are all. Whenever I see something, I will send it over there. And that was some. It was really. I was like,
ooh, time to write an episode on Appalachia.
Do it. I don't like it.
I have some books actually on like Appalachian hauntings and Appalachian folk magic and stuff like that. It's absolutely fascinating.
If you feel like being terrified, just go on Appalachian TikTok and you just It's scary.
Close your shades at night.
And don't look out them.
No, don't look out. I grew up in the middle of the woods, and I always closed my shades. And I remember somebody saying, "Why? There's nobody out there." I'm like, "Oh, but what if there is?
There's something out there."
Because if whatever is out there, I don't want to look at it.
No, but also if they see you, then it's like supposedly things can happen. I don't know. But that's why I do an episode on it, because I want to know.
Sounds great.
I want to know.
That sounds fabulous.
Except for I don't, but I don't live
We'll
there, so
record
it's
it late at night.
I don't like that.
I do. Now we're going to talk about the Bennington Triangle. The Bennington Triangle was named that by Vermont author Joe Citro again. It is in the southwestern part of Vermont and is called that because of the number of people that have gone missing in the area between 1945 and 1950. The Bennington Triangle is similar to the Bridgewater Triangle in Massachusetts. We have an episode coming on that.
Mm-hmm.
And think of the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah.
Just think of that. Like
a place of mystical disappearances and wild things happening.
Phenomenon.
There you go.
The area includes the Glastonbury Mountains and includes the town of Bennington, Woodford, Shaftesbury, Somerset, and Slastonbury. That sounds fancy. Between 1945 and 1955, people vanished in the area. The first was November 12th of 1945. 74-year-old Mitty Rivers was out hunting along the Long Trail, which is attached to part of the Appalachian Trail. Mm-hmm. And I actually lived on part of the Long Trail. Like, our property had part of the trails going through it. My dad would go on them all the time. Matty was with 4 other hunters. He and his son-in-law were hiking on the trail and came to a fork in the trail. They each decided to take a different path. Rivers said he only wanted to go a little ways before coming back to the camp. His son-in-law went back to camp and by 3 p.m. had not seen his father-in-law, so that it got worried. They decided to start searching themselves and then went to the police. Rivers was a very experienced hunter and outdoorsman, so it's very unlikely that he would have some sort of accident in the woods. They could not find him. There were no prints, no signs of a struggle, nothing.
Yikes.
He just
disappeared.
He just disappeared.
Do you think he went through a portal to Antarctica?
Dun, dun, dun.
Just saying.
He's probably still there today.
Yeah, he's probably happy.
A year later, in 1946, there was another disappearance. 18-year-old Paula Jean was a sophomore at Bennington College. It was December 1st, and she decided to go on a hike on the Long Trail. There were witnesses that saw her leave on the hike, and a man who worked at the Bennington Banner gave her directions to the trail. It was 50 degrees outside, and it was noted that she was not wearing a jacket. It's December in Vermont. I don't care what the temperature is. You grab a jacket.
How old was she, though?
College.
Oh, okay. I'll give her that. I just know I battle with my children daily to wear jackets here, even when it's freezing outside. Like, just at least put it in your freaking
Not
backpack.
when you're going for a hike.
Well, yeah, they aren't going for a hike. That's why
they're going to school.
That's why I was asking how old, but yeah.
Yeah. She didn't have any bags with her or money. Nothing. Her onesie went off. This led to investigators to believe that she did not expect to be gone very long. She set out. A local contractor picked her up and drove her as far as his house, which was still 2.5 miles from the entrance of the Long Trail. She walked the rest of the way or hitchhiked. Hitchhiking is very big in New England.
Still?
Yeah. I mean, this wasn't in New England, but when I was in New York up in the Hudson Valley, we were driving home and we saw 2 hitchhikers on the side of the road. My mom brought us home, dropped my brother and I off, went back and picked them up. And then they camped in our backyard for like a month. Their name was Clive and Julia. One was from Ireland. The other one was from England.
Well, okay. If they were from the UK, I'd feel way better about it. But
you didn't know that at the time when you picked them up.
That's true. But we live in Washington where all the serial killers are from for some reason. So you don't. You don't go walking.
When we go to our beach house on the coast, and as you're driving along, it says like the state penitentiary, don't pick up any hitchhikers.
Oh yeah, like this one spot, don't do it.
That means it's been done.
Yeah,
and it didn't go well.
I would say that's probably true.
She didn't come back, and her college roommate started freaking out, called the police. They began to conduct air searches. Nobody could find her. This was a point in time when there was no state police in Vermont, and her father was so upset about how they were conducting this investigation that he went to other states and contacted the police there, and they actually got the state police started.
So this is my true crime junkie part of me coming out, because I stopped listening to it as much, but true crime was my thing for a long time. when you first tell that story, automatic eyes should have gone on the guy who drove her to his house. Because do they have any reports of a hitchhiker actually, or her hitchhiking, like people saying that? Because that to me right away is like, what did that man do to that person, that girl, and where did he throw her body? That's like my first, if there was a real police investigation, I'm guessing that's where
They investigated him.
And nothing?
And his property, they found nothing. They never found her clothes. They never found boots. They never found anything. Yeah. It is said that Shirley Jackson was inspired by Paula's story and wrote her novel, The Hangsman, which is a really good Shirley Jackson book. I love Shirley Jackson, though.
I never read any.
Yeah. James Tedford was the next. There was a 3-year break after Paula. And exactly 3 years later, on December 1st, 1949, there was another disappearance. James Tedford was a veteran and resident of the Bennington Soldiers' Home. He was up in St. Albans visiting family, and he was brought to the bus station. They're probably 2.5, 3 hours apart.
Okay.
Because St. Albans is up north, where I was from. And he was his family put him on the bus, sent him back to Bennington. Witnesses saw him on the bus as they were getting closer to Bennington. They saw him get on the bus, and he was still on it before they made it to their last stop in Bennington. But when they got to Bennington, he was gone.
Not even on the bus anymore?
He was not even on the bus. His luggage was still there on the bus. The timetable on his ticket was there on the bus.
Wild.
And passengers say they turned around and then he was gone. He completely vanished into thin air.
It's like it's like a portal, or something, or
aliens.
Could
be aliens.
We've discussed that they have certain areas where they just
and this
zap
is one
you
of
up.
those areas.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
because this is near Vermont borders New Hampshire, but southern Vermont is near the area in New Hampshire that has a ton of activity.
I think that,
and I don't think aliens know borders.
Well, yeah, no. Well, maybe, but unless they really have
we're gonna stop right here.
Unless they actually do have a signed treaty with the U.S. government where they say exactly where they can get people and exactly where they can't.
Well, this is East bumfuck United States.
Well, what did we say that they've said? I think the worst thing that has happened is you telling me the Antarctica conspiracies, because now I feel like everything is going to go back to that for me, because I feel like the aliens are in Antarctica, and then there's portals and there's places and there's things.
I think my favorite thing with all the Antarctica stories and conspiracies is that it is like an airport.
Yes.
For think of it that way. In Men in Black when they go back to the facility, and it is exactly that. It's like an airport. And that's how I picture Antarctica.
And then we are like that locker. At the very end of the movie.
I love that part.
I hate it. It messes with my head so bad. I was like, oh my God.
It's like the Futurama episode where I think Bender is shot out into outer space and he's just kind of floating there, and then all of a sudden this civilization starts growing on his stomach.
I don't watch Futurama, but my husband would know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I think the little character's name is Mordecai or something like that, and he thinks Bender is God. And
God!
Yeah,
I know the characters. Yeah.
It's great.
I mean, maybe it's all based on something. You never know.
It could be.
Never know.
Next up, we have October 12th, 1950, and it's Paul Jepson. Paul Jepson was an 8-year-old boy local to the Bennington area. He was with his mother that day, and they were in his mother's truck. She told him to stay in it and wait while she got out to feed the pigs. So they went down the road to feed the pigs. She said, stay here, wait. She was gone an hour. When she got back, he was gone. I don't think I could leave my 8-year-old in a car for an hour, but this was 1950.
Yeah, so I guess it's just what you do.
And it's, farmland,
I feel like my 8-year-old would take my car for a joyride. Later, losers.
With our 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds.
Well, yeah, they're 9 now. No, that's what I'm saying.
They both would. They both would see us, suckers.
Yeah, let me see how this car drives. Vroom, vroom.
Giggling the entire way.
Yes, yep.
So she was gone for an hour, and when she got back, Paul was gone. She immediately went to the police. They gathered a ton of people and began searching. Paul was said to be wearing a bright red jacket, so they thought it would be easier to find him. They never did. According to one account, bloodhounds were used to help search for Paul and led them to a spot where Paula Weldon had disappeared 4 years earlier. They got to that spot and the trail went cold. Dun, dun, dun.
I'm either going with a portal or some sort of Appalachian thing that gobbled you up. Schnunk.
Schnunk.
I don't know what noise it was. Just sounded right. Felt right.
I don't think it's a Bigfoot, though. I don't think Bigfoot would do that.
No, I don't either.
I think Bigfoot
we're gonna
is
go
benevolent.
A rake.
I think a rake is more there to terrify you. I don't think that they're actually going to do anything
Who knows then?
malicious.
Who knows?
I think it's a beam me up, Scotty situation.
Yeah. Or portal. You just accidentally fall through.
Whoopsie doodles.
And then you're somewhere else.
You started saying whoopsie doodles,
I know,
and
no,
now
you
I
say
can't
it all the
stop
time.
saying it.
The best thing is because I go through phases of saying stupid shit. It's just who I am as a person, and I'll say it over and over, and then I'll like phase out.
And
now,
then I
you're
just
still
start
doing
mimicking it.
Whoopsie doodle. Well, no, you're still going on the whoopsie doodles, but I still say it now too because you do.
It's a great one.
Whoopsie doodly.
Next, we have Frida Langer. October 28th, 1950, 16 days after Paul Jepson's disappearance. And this was the next disappearance. Frida was out camping with her family near the Somerset Reservoir. She and her cousin Herbert decided to go on a hike. While hiking, Frida slipped and fell into the stream. Since she was now soaking wet and it was October, getting cold, she asked her cousin if he would wait for her so that she could go back to the campsite, change, and meet back up with him to continue their hike. He agreed. He waited. Frida never returned. Her cousin decided to head back to the campsite, thinking maybe that she got busy doing something else. When he got back to the campsite, Frida was not there. No one at the site had seen her since they initially left on their hike. Over the next 2 weeks, 5 searches were conducted, and the state began aircraft and helicopter searches, and search parties of about 300 people went through the woods. These are dense woods.
Yeah.
Like, even with 300 people, it is such a vast area. It'd be really difficult to find anything. In May of 1951, after 6.5 months missing, Frida's body was found 3.5 miles away from the campsite in the Deer River. The area had been searched initially, and they could not determine the cause of her death. So
that one I could go with, like, she wandered, got lost, animals moved her body kind of thing, like true crime status. I could see that a smidge. Like if she didn't know if they were that dense, she didn't know where she's
That's
going.
true. Could have
Like
just
and was cold.
tripped and
Like she
fallen.
could have died from hypothermia, like without quickly.
On that, there's that hand, but then on the other hand, because it is a really good hiking area, maybe they disappeared and weren't initially found. But you would think within the coming years, because it was such a hikeable area, somebody would have come across something.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it just depends on like what happened, but.
It is important to note that all these cases have nothing to link them except for geographical area.
Right.
In 2008, they thought that there was another disappearance happening. Robert Singley, who was 27 and a Bennington College student, went missing in the area. However, they were lucky to find him.
Damn.
Yeah. So what do you think that is?
Well, I think it's similar to like what the Bermuda Triangle could be, that there are like when people are just like vanished without a trace, obviously there is a chance that they were murdered by someone and someone covered up their tracks really well. That's like logic.
Yeah.
You know, that's the logical.
Yeah. Especially, I mean, same on that same thread. You're in the middle of the woods in Vermont. Who knows who's living out there?
Right. Like crazy people out there, like literally. Yeah, you just don't know.
It puts the lotion on its skin.
It does. Oh, God. Could you? No, I don't like that. But if you go like paranormal route, yeah, I feel like there could definitely be a portal there. And I would like to think it's like a friendly portal, but you get taken somewhere far away or you go to with an aliens or I don't know. Who knows? Maybe it'll zap you over to like the other mountain range over in like Scotland because you know they used to be connected.
That really brings Outlander into play.
I was just about to say, kind of like the movie or the show Outlander, you know,
Yeah,
where she gets brought back in time.
Do I just have to go start touching rocks and see if I'll get transported?
I mean, if you want to disappear.
Oh, depends on the day.
Please don't. I can't do this by myself.
The one that really gets me is the little boy because he was wearing a bright red jacket.
Yeah.
So that's one because it is, yes, it is a very rural area, but it is so hiked and hunting and camping and all that stuff. You would think eventually someone would find a red jacket.
He also probably knew the area well. I'm going to assume that like they had a pig farm out there. Like he probably did this all the time. Like I find it hard to believe that he would just like, maybe he got bored and went to go find his mom. There is a chance that like someone intercepted that, but but
I'm still going aliens.
or something. Yeah,
I'm still going aliens with all of this because except for the last one, they disappeared without a trace.
Yeah, and that's Alien. Alien.
And the last one was found, but they couldn't determine the cause of death.
Yeah. Well.
So there's a lot more stories, obviously.
Yes.
But, we're just getting a little snippet of the states. I have some personal ones that I really, 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 really wish I could tell, but for privacy issues, I'm not allowed to.
Oh, my gosh. You can tell me later.
At least on air.
Okay.
It's terrifying, and it would be a perfect story to tell, and it's something that really happened to people in Vermont. And it makes you think, and I've seen video footage, it makes you, if you are not a believer, like there's no way to make it make sense
Is this
in your mind.
We've discussed
I
you
think
getting?
so.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We'll see. Maybe one day we'll be able to. You think? No?
I don't know, but you literally see stuff moving around. Like you have witness accounts from people who aren't even related to the story or know anything about the story, and it's all sorts of spookies. All sorts of spookies. I would suggest the book Ghost Schools and Unsolved Mysteries by Joe Citro. And I suggest that one because one of my bestest friends in the whole world, her mom is Bonnie Christensen, who unfortunately passed away about 9 years ago, but she illustrated it.
Oh, very cool.
And it's one of my prized possessions on my bookshelf.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah. So that's Vermont.
Dang.
What state you want to do next?
I mean, I feel like we have to do Washington. Do Washington and then work our way through.
Yeah.
Because
maybe we'll do Washington and then we'll do New York, which is where I was born. And then we'll do Arizona because you have an affiliation with Arizona. We also got to get some Australian stuff, man. You got to call
I have tons of.
Snickerdoodle or whatever his name is.
Sausage. So here's the thing: is that this is how our messages go back and forth. Okay, we want to have you on the podcast. Let me know when's a good time. Yeah, mate. I'll let you know when's good. Okay, well, are you home in the next 2 weeks? Because he works away at the mines. And I'm like, let me know when you're home in the next 2 weeks. Like, if you're home in the next month, let's set up a date. Yeah, cool, mate. I'll let you know when I'm home. Just let me know when's a good time. No, you let me know when you're home. Then we can the DMs back and forth between us. I'm like, God damn it!
I'm gonna give you 4 dates. You're gonna send them to Snickerdoodle, and you're gonna
sausage.
Snickerdoodle. They have that's so many weird names. I can't keep them straight.
Snickerdoodle.
Bacon.
I'm gonna tell him that you're gonna start calling him Snickerdoodle on the podcast until he gets his shit together and tells me when.
Okay.
And he's gonna
Fair
be like,
point.
fuck.
Snickerdoodle it is. I'm gonna give you 4 dates. You're going to send them to him.
The problem is that it's because he works out of town. He's 2 on, 2 off. So he's 2 weeks at the mines, 2 weeks home.
Okay, so he should be home the next 2 weeks.
Well, I don't know from the last time because I thought he was home, and then he was like, he had told me he was home, but then he wasn't. So I don't know. But I know he wants to come on. He's sausage.
And this, you guys, there are so many weird names.
I mean,
I don't understand.
I don't either, but I just adapt to it.
Tex isn't Tex.
No.
He's Dugong.
Tom. Oh, that name.
Yeah.
Dugong.
Dugong.
Yeah. Dugong. Mm-hmm.
Tex is his American nickname.
Yeah. Dugong is someone lost a watch and he swam down and got it in the ocean, and then they started calling him Dugong. And then on his bachelor party, they got matching shirts made and they misspelled it. So it says Dugwan. So then that's his other nickname.
Fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful.
Yes, that happens. All right. Well, that was good. I like it.
Good.
I like
Short
it.
and sweet.
But also, I like the different mini ghost stories throughout.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
It makes you think.
We'll do Washington next. Although that one's going to be hard to narrow down, I think, because
I feel
there's
like we'll
so
discuss
much.
some ideas and figure out where we want to narrow it to.
Well, I already have a alien one, a whole alien one that I'm doing. So I'll keep aliens
but that's
out of
separate.
it.
This is just haunted. Yeah.
We'll just do haunted.
Yeah.
Like no other paranormal stuff.
Yeah.
We're going to
So
keep
that
the
narrows it.
forest octopus out of things.
Okay. The fuck?
Yeah. In Washington, there's octopi.
In the forest?
Yeah.
Oh, God. That's a story for another day. Uh-huh. But if we do New Mexico, do we keep it haunted or do we go alien?
Oh, well, that one we have to go. Well,
I mean, I'm
weird
just
and unknown.
saying, yeah.
Because that one, I actually have not a personal, one of my really good friends has a story from that area that is terrifying.
So yeah, that's a different beast. Okay.
And then today I was talking to my friend who got us this cider. She's from the Philippines, and I came across something and I asked her, do you know what a mananicle is? And she goes, oh yes, the upper part of their body flies away. If you put garlic or salt on the lower half, then they can't fly back before daytime. I'm like, cool, we're going to have drinks and you're telling me all about it.
Yikes. Okay.
I'm getting some good fun stuff.
I love that for us.
Yay.
So much.
I want all the spookies.
Yes, I'll listen to all the spookies. Great. All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. You guys know where to find us at Lunatic Soup Podcast on all the social medias.
Lunatic Soup Podcast at gmail.com. Write us in. Tell us your stories, what you want us to cover.
And also make sure you watch us on the YouTubes now.
The YouTubes.
Lunatic Soup Podcast.
Do you like my new shirt?
I was trying to figure out what it said,
Frog and Toad.
The words were under one of your boobs, so I couldn't quite see it.
One of my Emersons.
One of your Emersons. You guys know what an Emerson is? Have I said this before? No. Emerson's, this is what my family best friend says. He's an old man, he's 80. He's my favorite. And he'll some woman will walk in a bar and he'll be like, geez, she's got some Emersons. And I was like, what the hell's an Emerson? He's like, Emerson big titties. So it was hiding under Meg's Emersons.
Well, it says,
because we know I don't got Emersons.
It's Frog and Toad, and it looks like they're sharing some cookies. And it says, we must stop eating, cried Toad, as he ate another.
That's like me with wine. I must stop. Whoopsie daisy.
Oopsie doodlies.
Whoopsie doodly. All right, you guys.
Well, remember, in this crazy world,
it's good to be a lunatic.
Bye.
Bye.
We did it.
Good job. Go team.
Yeah.